Have you ever felt like giving up? Think about that project you poured your soul into that failed, or the dream you've been chasing that still feels miles away. It's a heavy, cold feeling when you think your best effort just isn't enough. We often look at our setbacks as signs that we should stop. We tell ourselves that the door closed because we don't belong there. But throughout my life in this monastery, I have watched the fiercest storms break the stiffest trees, while the grass simply bends and rises again. Life doesn't send you obstacles to stop you. It sends them to see what you are made of. To find the strength to keep going when everything tells you to quit, you must hear the story of a young disciple named Ren, who was tested by the mountain itself. Ren had spent 5 years studying at the base of the Mountain of Whispers. He was impatient to prove his spiritual strength. One morning, his master called him to the courtyard and placed a fragile paper lantern in his hands. Inside, a tiny candle flame flickered softly.
Take this flame to the shrine at the very peak of the mountain.
The master instructed calmly.
The path is steep, the wind is cruel, and the air is thin. If the flame goes out, you must return to the bottom and start again. Do not return until the shrine is lit.
Ren smiled, thinking the task was simple. He shielded the lantern with his sleeve and began his trek up the rocky path. The sun was shining, and his steps were light. He felt unstoppable, but the mountain did not welcome him. By midnight, the temperature plummeted, and a ferocious storm swept through the canyons. The wind howled like a wild beast, attacking Ren from every direction. He had to take one agonizingly slow step at a time, using his own body as a shield to protect the tiny, vulnerable flame. His hands were frozen numb, his legs ached with exhaustion, and his vision was blurred by icy rain. Suddenly, a massive blast of wind tore through a gap in the rocks. Ren slipped on the wet stone, crashing heavily to his knees. As he fell, a gust of wind cut right through the paper screen. In an instant, the flame died. The valley plunged into darkness. Defeated, tired, and deeply embarrassed, Ren walked all the way back down the mountain. The next morning, without saying a word, the master relit the candle. Ren started again. On his second attempt, a sudden rock slide crushed his lantern. On his third attempt, absolute physical exhaustion caused him to faint, and the flame expired as he slept. 3 times he climbed, 3 times he failed, and 3 times he had to walk back down in shame. By the 4th day, the other disciples began to whisper and laugh at him. Ren felt a powerful urge to pack his bags and leave the monastery forever. He was broken, but as he looked at the open flame for the 4th time, something shifted deep inside his soul. He realized that the task was not about the lantern, it was about his mind. He started the 4th climb. This time, when the storm hit, he didn't panic. When the wind ripped the paper housing of his lantern away, leaving the bare wax exposed, he didn't drop to his knees in despair. Instead, he cupped his bleeding, blistered hands tightly around the naked wick. He let the hot, melting wax burn his skin, using his own flesh to keep the fire alive. He stopped counting the steps, stopped worrying about the cold, and focused entirely on the very next inch of the path. Just as the darkness began to fade, Ren took his final step onto the highest peak. His hands were burned, his body was shivering, but between his palms the tiny flame was still alive. He touched the wick to the great golden bowl of the Alpine shrine. A massive, brilliant fire erupted, lighting up the entire mountain range in a warm, triumphant glow. Looking down from the peak, Ren realized a profound truth. The mountain had not changed. The wind was just as cold, and the path was just as steep as it was on the first day. What had changed was him. The failures hadn't destroyed him. They had stripped away his impatience, his pride, and his weakness, leaving behind a man who could not be broken by any storm. My friends, when you are traversing the darkest, most difficult terrain of your life, remember young Ren. The universe is not trying to blow out your flame. It is forcing you to build a shield around it. Every failure you experience is simply the mountain testing your resolve, shaping your character, and preparing you for the view from the top. If you give up now, you will never know how close you were to the summit. Take a deep breath, trust your inner strength, cup your hands around your dream, and take one more step forward. Thank you for climbing this path with me today on Whimsy Worldscapes. If this story renewed your strength today, please hit the like button, subscribe to our growing circle, and share this video with someone who needs the courage to keep going. Stay present, never give up, and walk in peace.